Hello everybody, welcome to Coco's Crochet. I'm Litsa and this is our podcast number 133. It's the 1st of May 2025. Can you believe that, guys? A third of the year has already gone. Oh my goodness, it's true what they say. Time really does fly when you're having fun. And how lucky are we to be spending another Thursday together. So thank you for joining us and hanging out together. You know, I have quite a few of your makes to showcase today. Some from friends that have just joined us for the very first time. Our little yarny community is growing every single day, which I absolutely love. Now sit back and relax. Have a nice cup of tea or a coffee. I've got a cup of tea here in case I need to cough. The change in the weather has really, made me cough a little bit more than usual. Anyway, back on track. So if you've got something you're crocheting with, please make sure you look up when I show you everybody's amazing makes. And of course, I'll be showing you what I've been up to during the week, and I'll talk to you about some upcoming dates as well. So let's get started straight away, guys. Now, our friend Geraldine from G Crochet Off the Hook, she's been joining us in for Beanie of the Week. And here you'll see a beautiful collection of beanies that she's been making along the way. And she also does a video, I think it's every month, showcasing all the beanies that she's been making. And of course, every week she has all her other makes and things there. So if you haven't already visited Geraldine, please make sure you go and hang out with her. Now, as I said, you would have seen a beautiful collection of beanies. Now, Geraldine does tell us that most of those will be donated. Now, this is the Grand Canyon beanie, and Geraldine used a 5mm hook and L Yarns Chick DK in the color Caramello. Geraldine adapted the pattern to make it baby size by doing only one round of the texture stitches. Again, Geraldine has been working on baby size beanies lately for her donations. Now, this is the Sunflower Beanie, which was last week's Beanie of the Week. Geraldine said she thought it was really interesting. The crown is so pretty. The joined double crochet did take Geraldine some time, but turned out great. Now, the yarn that Geraldine used is Kismet acrylic in the color Marigold, a variegated yarn, and a 5.5mm hook. I think it's absolutely lovely. I love those colors. I wonder what that Kismet yarn feels like, Geraldine, because every time I see you make like one of your beanies, I think, oh, they look like they are so soft. And I just love the name. So thank you, Geraldine, for sending in all your gorgeous beanies to share with us. Now, our friend Vicky D, she has been very busy. So this super cute flamingo is a pattern by Rhonda Butler. Now, a lot of you may know her, and she does have a YouTube video with quite a few tutorials on there. Well, actually a lot of tutorials. Now, Vicky used Premier Just Chenille yarn from Dollar Tree and a 4.5mm crochet hook. And you have to zoom in, guys, because there are golden safety eyes, which Vicky purchased from Temu. So thank you so much, Vicky, for sending in your very, very cute flamingo to us. Excuse me, guys. Now, Sam, she's our new yarny friend. Well, I know she's been hanging around for a while, but I think this is the first time Sam has sent in her makes. Please correct me if I'm wrong, Sam. Now, Sam tells us that she has been crocheting for about a year. She loves crocheting amigurumi and all types of crochet and has started dabbling in Tunisian crochet. Now, here you'll see Sam's Aussie series, including the little koala she made as part of our Australia Day cowl. Excuse me. And oh my goodness, I say there is so much cuteness there. Seriously, what a beautiful collection you have there. Then there's Kitty Corner. Sam is a crazy cat lady, her words. These loaf cats are some of her first creations in plushy yarn, and they are so adorable. I love their little faces. Now, this is a beautiful hexagon made using Tunisian crochet. Sam plans to crochet 30 in total to make a very large blanket. Oh my goodness, Sam, you've just dabbled in Tunisian crochet, and that hexagon is amazing. Well done. Excuse me, everybody. Now, this is a square from our friend Jenny at my spare time crochet from her Cal A Year of Granny Squares, and I think it is absolutely gorgeous. I imagine them all put together, and then I keep watching Jenny's showcasing everyone's grannies each week. They are beautiful. I hope to see what everybody makes at the end of it as well. So thank you, Sam, for showcasing yours, and thank you, Jenny, for running such a fun cow. And now, last but not least, here is a beanie from one of our Beanie of the Week. So Sam's been adding them to her collection as well. And I absolutely love the fluffy little pom-pom you've put on top. So thank you, Sam, for sending in all your gorgeous makes for us to ooh and ah over. Excuse me. Now, Josephine has been very busy, and she has sent in some of her gorgeous FOs for us. Now, here is the Winter Solace Throw from Ophelia Talks Tutorials. Now, Josephine used a Lion Brand Mandala, which is a 3-weight yarn, which I think that's a DK or an 8-ply, and a 4mm Clover or more hook. And this throw will be donated or gifted. Absolutely gorgeous. Now, this is the 5-week Hobie Cow Be Your Own Star Shawl. I love that name. The pattern is not free anymore, unfortunately. Now, Josephine used 2-weight yarn from her stash and a 4mm Clover or more hook. It's just so beautiful. Thank you, Josephine. Now, this is a Granny Square bag made from the Red Heart All-in-One Granny Squares. And oh my goodness, Josephine, your squares are perfect. I just love how you got them exact. And I absolutely love the color of those squares. And then Josephine does tell us that she will be gifting this bag as well. Wow, your gift list is amazing. I'd love to be on there. Actually, I have been a recipient. Take that back. And Josephine, okay, so Lucky Last. This is no, I don't think it's Lucky Last. Let me check my notes, guys. I think it could be second last. I've jumped. Yes, so second last. So this is the Classical Attitude Shawl, a free Hobie pattern. Josephine used middle ends from Hirschner's, which were 2-weight yarn, a 4mm Clover or more hook. And this shawl will also be gifted. Wow. And now Lucky Last from Josephine. Here is a pair of socks. Josephine made using Peyton's Croy sock, Kroy sock yarn, which is a 1-weight yarn, a 2.75mm hook for the ribbing, and a 3.25mm Clover or more hook for the completion of the sock. I absolutely love them, Josephine, and I still haven't made any socks, guys, so we'll see how we go. So thank you so much, Josephine, for sending in all your FOs. Absolutely love them. Look forward to seeing more. Now, our friend Diane, she's been joining us for Beanie of the Week, and here is her sunflower beanie from last week. Now, Diane thought that this beanie would be harder than it actually was. Isn't that wonderful? It took a minute, she says, to get the hang of the linked double crochet, but then it became enjoyable. I love to hear that. The brim is front and back posts. Double crochets. I did the same thing, and Diane used a 5mm crochet hook. As usually her tension is quite loose, but it made the beanie a little bit small, but that's okay. She says if she's to make it again, she'll use a larger hook, but it still did turn out very, very lovely. So thank you, Diane, for joining us and sharing your beanie with us as well. So each and every one of you, thank you so much for giving us that ooh and ah factor. We absolutely love it and look forward to it every single week. Now I just pop those to the side and get on with Beanie of the Week. So let me get my notes from my clipboard so I don't make a mistake. You know how good I am at doing that. I think by now most of you know Litza speak, so it makes it easier. Okay, so here it is, guys, Beanie of the Week. Now, back to our friend Diane. She sent me an email with a link to a YouTuber called Crochet with Julie, and she has many, things on her channel, but she also has a playlist 100 days of beanies. Let me tell you, it's a little bit overwhelming looking at that because I really wanted to crochet something from it this week because there was so much coming at me. But thank you so much, Diane, because I did land on this one here. Now it's just called Crochet and Easy Beanie, and of course I will link it in the description box for you. And here it is here. Now it is crocheted from the bottom up again. I never thought that there'd be so many patterns that way, but there seems to be quite a few that way. There is a fluff there. Now, I'll talk you through what the changes I made in case you want to do the same, or you can all follow the pattern tutorial. So this one, these stitches here, Julie calls them cables, so they're almost like mock cables to me. So it was very, very nice. I think the majority of the pattern is worked in the back stitch, but for the ribbing here, that's what we call it, right guys? Not brim, ribbing. Tell me in the comments what you guys call this part of the hat. I always get confused. Anyway, let's get back to it. So what Julie suggests is that you follow one of her other tutorials and you crochet like a you stitch, I think 8 stitches, 8 chains, and then make a long piece and then connect it, and that becomes this part here, and then you work up the beanie, and you need to have 60 stitches for the pattern to work. So what I did, I chained 50 stitches, and then I made just 1 row of double crochet and then 3 rows of back post, front post, until I got to this bit here. And then this is meant to be a single crochet row. This is all US terminology. So every 5th stitch I increased. So I got to 60 stitches, and then I followed the pattern as is. Now you can do as many pattern repeats as you need to. I ended up doing 1, 2, 3, and then you start the decreasing for the crown. And it actually is a very nice decrease as well. Now, the yarn that I used, I had sort of forgotten about this yarn, but because Julie suggested we use a 6.5 millimeter hook and a bulky weight yarn, I went to my bag of Ogo scraps here. Now, this tote is actually made using Ogo yarn as well, and I absolutely love Ogos. Some of you aren't big fans, and some of you may not know what they are, but I've got so many. I've revisited them, and I really need to put them to good use. I actually have a whole playlist on working with Ogo yarn, because I had a super huge haul about 2 years ago now, and the price that I paid for these was ridiculous, and I've never seen them in Australia since. But this is an Ogo, if you don't know what it is. And basically it's a donut of yarn with 5 different colors that complement each other. So I absolutely love that. Now, excuse me, you do have the choice of, dissecting this up and having separate balls, or you can just crochet and let it self-stripe. That's what I did here. I actually let it crochet away. I didn't color control. I do have that little patch there, but that doesn't bother me at all. And once again, I think that it was beautiful. This yarn actually washes up super soft. So I'm so happy that thanks to this pattern as well, I remembered how much Ogo yarn I have. But that's it, guys. That's Beanie of the Week. So, I wonder how many of you will be joining in and making it and sending it through to us. I hope you all do give it a go, because it was a very, very quick pattern, which was amazing. If I say to you a couple of hours, I don't think that's an exaggeration. So that's that for now. Now, the other thing that I finished this week, which was so cool, I was so happy with this. Some of you may remember that I started, I finished a corner-to-corner blanket, which is this one here. I won't take it out for now. And all I used for that was my blanket yarn, and for the blanket a 9 millimeter hook. And then I had started making some cushion covers. Those of you that don't know, I'll be very surprised if you've been here for a while. Blanket yarn is one of my favorite yarns. And here it is here. Now, this just came to me in Millens. It is a bulky weight yarn, I think number 6 weight, and he recommends you use an 8 millimeter hook, which is exactly what I used for the cushion covers, because I didn't want it as drapey as the blanket. I wanted the stitches to be a bit closer together, being a corner to corner. So basically now I have 2 cushions with their cushion covers, and let me show you here. How amazing do they look? Like, seriously, with that blanket, it's going to make a beautiful set. So inside there's a cushion insert, and I am going to take one off so you can see what it looks like. 41 centimeters, which I think is around 15 or 16 inches. I'm not sure, guys. So all I did was, and let me take this off because I've simply got some little ties instead of buttons to hold it all together, because I didn't want to take away from the actual color of the yarn, and I didn't have any buttons that really complemented it. So basically that's it there. I'll take the insert out. So all I did, if you can imagine, is crochet one long oblong all the way. It was 14 squares across, little blocks across. So I made sure I had 28 to cover the cushion, and then I halved it and did another 7 for the little flap. And all I did then was single crochet the sides. And then, as I said, I decided to just crochet a chain. I think it was 40 chains to make the little ties and put them in a spot which I thought was right, the right spot. And then there you go, voila, 2 beautiful cushion covers. The great thing about blanket yarn being polyester yarn, you can pop it in a gentle cycle and then lay it out to dry, and it doesn't take that long at all. It is quite a thick yarn, but it does, you know, wash up very, very well because of the fiber content. So there's a nice set. I don't know where it's going, but I know that it's there ready and waiting for someone to have it, which is wonderful, right? Now, the one cowl that I finished off with this week, or joined in, I should say, but it's the last week for it. Our friend Lynn at Lynn Penguin Creations, being her birthday month for April, she had the 2025 birthday cowl. And this week, you could either make something pink or the fidget flowers. So, of course, I made a pink fidget flower as well for Lynn. But here they are here, and the pattern is a YouTube tutorial by All My Crochet, and I did make 3. These whip up so quickly, guys. So basically what they are is just my Spot Saver yarn, which is 100% acrylic, but I didn't use this one here. I just used some scraps. So I've got so many of these sitting there where I make my knitted beanies, but these are getting a bit small, so they're perfect for Are You OK Day projects like this, or Random Acts of Kindness. A lot of this yarn goes towards what I'm making for our friend Rose at Rose Likes Crochet, and these will also end up for Are You OK Day, which I'm collecting them for. Now, they're the Spot Saver yarn and little pony beads in there. I opted, oops, I'll show you my pony beads. I love this set here. It's a matte set. Sorry the noise. I got these on sale at Spotlight a couple of months ago when I did a little craft haul, and I really like them because they're not, I love the shiny beads as well, but these are the matte ones, so I hadn't really seen those before. And I opted to use the same color bead as the yarn, as you can see there. So you can't really see them, but they work up so well. Like when you twirl them, they're actually like a really nice fidget toy. So someone will be getting those. If I have time, I'll make some more. Otherwise, I've got 3 to go into my collection for Are You OK Day, which is wonderful. Now that cowl has finished for the year, so thank you so much, Lynn, for inviting us to join in. It has been a lot of fun, and I think that you and your twin sister did enjoy the crochet along. And I did read in the comments today that you're 2 minutes older than your sister, which I think is funny. It must be a real twin thing that who's older than the other one. So by 2 minutes, you're the elder sister. So that's that for now. Now, did I mention that it's All My Crochet, the pattern that was used for those fidget flowers? If not, it is All My Crochet, and I will pop it in the description box. Now, the other thing that I finished this week, well, I had to make sure that I did because I had to finish my squares for my temperature blanket. Now, some of you may already know that my temperature blanket is a historical one. What does that mean? It means that I'm not doing it for 2025. I'm actually doing it for 1965, which is my birth year, as this year is my 60th birthday. So I've got my little color chart here with all my temperatures. This is all in Celsius, living in Australia, that's what we use. They're the colors that I'm using. That's the joining color there. And I have my 1965 calendar. And as I do the weeks, because I'm doing 1 square per week, I tick it off. So now I'm actually right on schedule. I had to do 3 to make sure that I finished for the month of April. And the colours are starting to change now, which is great. Now I'm using the Sunburst Granny Square, which I absolutely love. It's funny because it gets a little bit like wonky when you first do it, and then after a while it stretches out. So I started off here because I'm doing 52 weeks. I wanted to do an extra 4 to make sure that it fit the design that I'm doing. So here we are here. I think I've done how many now? 15, 16 weeks, something like that. So that's pretty cool. So I started off here. So each corner will have one of these. And then all the other colours correspond. I think it's a beautiful blanket. So random but pretty colours. And these are the ones that I added this week. So they're still a little bit wonky, but they will straighten out as well. So I'm absolutely loving this join as you go method. It has been really, really good. All my ends are pretty much sewn in except for the last one. So even the back is looking neat, guys, except for this one here. So I need to do that one. So that's it. I've now got to start May because we are in May and I need to catch up. And I keep everything in my favourite bag, which is my Golden Girls bag. Look at that, guys. I love it. I absolutely love this bag. So that's that. I managed to do that. And at one stage, I had almost forgotten about my temperature blanket. So lucky I squeezed that in. Now, next I'm going to show you a beautiful Granny Square blanket, which, I think it's beautiful. Now, I had been watching our friend Sally at Nanny Moon's Crochet for the last few weeks. She was crocheting a blanket for, I think, her daughter's mother-in-law's sister, Sandra. I can't remember exactly the name, so don't quote me, but that's not what's important here. But Sally was telling us about a new way that she discovered to crochet a granny square, perfectly square, without turning it. So I really wanted to try that. Now the pattern is, or the YouTube tutorial is on Crochet Rocks, and it's Tracy, the host. And I will show you my blanket and then the yarn that I'm using. So what I did was I made one big square in the middle, and then when I finished that, I thought, well, that's not big enough for what I want. So then I put on one end, so let me show you here. Too much talking, not enough showing. So that's what it looks like in half. It's so pretty. I'll show you the yarn in a minute. So then at one end, I decided that, like when I got to 32 rounds, I thought, how am I going to work this? So I did 4 squares of 8 rounds each for one side. So I'll show you those here now. And there they are down the bottom. It's actually lies very nice and flat. It's just the way it looks here. So I just continued with the ball as it was. I didn't do any color controlling, as you can see. And then on the other side, because I wanted a rectangle shape, and I didn't start off with a rectangle granny, that's why I had to change it up a bit. And then on the flip side, I did 2 rows of 4 round squares, so 8 in each row. And that's what it looks like here. I think it turns out very pretty. And I've just started today, so I am connected to the yarn. I am doing a border with just a granny stitch. Oops, let me show you there. So all the way around, I'm putting a border of the granny stitch. I'm nearly done with the first row. I might do 3 because I don't want to use more than a 3rd ball. So all of the squares took 2 balls and a tiny smidge of this 3rd ball. And the yarn that I'm using is this beautiful Motivera. Where is it? Motivera Valley yarn. It's an 8-ply or a DK weight. Look at all those colors. Oh my goodness. And I do have my notes here somewhere, so I can give you the stats. I believe it's a 100% acrylic yarn, yes. Each ball has 150 grams, which is pretty good, 375 meters. This color is called King, and I used a 6mm hook. It recommends a 4mm hook, but it was way too tight. I didn't like the way that it was draping, but I didn't want to go too drapey either. So I think that this is turning out really, really pretty. So after about 3 rows, I'm sure that I've got to, 3 rounds to do, plenty of yarn, I should say, to do 3 rounds. Now, I would like to make it sort of like a baby ensemble, so I'm not really sure what else to make. I don't want to make a lovey because I thought about that. I would have liked to make a little cushion or something for it. I'm not sure. Any suggestions, guys, I'm open to them. Or maybe a little baby jacket. We'll see. Or if not, I'll just leave it as a blanket as is. So that's actually something that I've really enjoyed making. It's taken just over a week. So we'll be done in the next few days, you know, with the finishing off the border. So that's been a lot of fun. And I think that's it. Oh no, that's not it. So we've done all that. The only other thing I need to show you is some happy mail. So a lot of you would have already seen the amazing donations from Thea and Joe. That was the last Crocheting for the Community video that I put out through the week. I'll link it in the description box if you haven't seen it. And upcoming very soon, we'll see the finale. So Thea loves bamboo yarn, but it doesn't love her. It hurts her hands. I think from memory, she told me she breaks out in a bit of a rash. And thankfully for me, she decided to send me some more. So thank you so much, Thea. I was so surprised when I saw it at the bottom of the donations box for April. So let me show you this beautiful bamboo yarn here. Now, it comes in, so this yarn here is 55% bamboo and 45% cotton. And look at these gorgeous colors. Now this is like a silvery grey, and then this one's like a darker grey, but it's got like a nice charcoaly sheen to it. And then there's this gorgeous mint colour, and then we have this beautiful lilac here. I'm going to pop that down for a moment, and this gorgeous steely blue greeny colour, and there's two balls of the white. So let me just hold them all together. Wait till you see how gorgeous they look together. Oh my gosh. And I'm sure that I will be making something spectacular from this. I don't know what, but it's going to be gorgeous. Now it is a very thin yarn. It does say to use 3.5 millimeter hook. And I have used bamboo yarn this thin that Thea's given me before for headbands and also wearables and bandanas. So you know what, it does crochet up very nice even with a 4 and a 4.5 millimeter hook, depending on the drape that you want. Now before we get on to a little bit of life, a little bit of upcoming. So in the next few days I'm going to be on every day, guys, visiting you and hanging out with you, because I need to let you know everything I crocheted in April. Birthstones cowl, got to make sure that I show you everybody's makes. So the due date was here in Sydney, Australia last night, but I always wait a couple of days so that the whole world can catch up to our time zone, and I don't want to miss out on anyone. The same with our best dressed 18-inch doll cowl. And then of course during next week, everything we crocheted for the community, I'll be doing one big, you know, recap of all that before it goes off to Anglicare. I am so excited for them to see that video, and I am going to ask them to bring a truck, I think. I always say that, and it's actually becoming true. So that's pretty much it. Now, I think I've checked everything off. Well, whatever I've missed, guys, you're going to hear about it next week. So basically this week has just been going back to work. Big change again, you know, getting back into routine. Of course, the first day was all, you know, the first couple of hours was just catching up with everyone. It's always a lot of fun. The children didn't, like the students returned to school yesterday on the Wednesday. So we had 2 staff development days, which was great. It's always nice to set, you know, yourself up for the term. But the countdown has started, guys. Only 46 more days to the next school holidays. Isn't that just crazy that we do that? But it has been a good week. The weather has been horrendous. I've actually been wearing boots today. I've got bed socks on now, and I've been wearing a cardi. So that tells you that autumn is definitely here. It actually did a little skip and a jump to almost winter for a couple of days, but now we're back to autumn. So I hope you're all keeping well wherever you may be. I hope that the world is treating you well and you've taken some time for yourself. If that's, you know, self-care means crocheting, that's what it means for me. So if that's what it means for you, I hope that that's what happened and you got that time in. So and until I see you all very, very soon, take care, everyone. Bye-bye for now.